Complexities turn to ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Complexities turn to ban. Dire team pick. Complexities turn to pick.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to NP versus Complexity in the Summit Qualifiers. As the upper bracket, we're going to have a best of 3. It's going to be myself, Capitalist, back on the mic finally. It's been a long time. And I'm going to be joined by, well, I had my way with the waifu of the duo, so now this year is going to be all about the husbando. I've got Purge joining me. What's up, Purge? Purge, I'm sorry. I made a nice intro for you, and I didn't unmute myself in Discord, so hello.
Oh, okay. Hello.
I said, you know, I had my way with the waifu, so now I've got to have my way with the husbando of the duo, so.
True. What does that make you, the, am I allowed to swear in this channel? The town,
I go for it. I'm sure Blaze will just send me bad messages afterwards if you curse too much.
Prostitute, well, it can't be worse than
Well,
Trump, right?
listen, I prefer the term mistress. So,
Okay.
if I could just be the mistress of this trio, I would appreciate that.
It's almost like I'm the jilted ex-lover, and you got me divorced, basically, and then you realized that he wasn't for you after all, and we were the pairing that should have been all along. So,
I mean, listen, Kevin. I want you to know, I was only after Blitz for his money. As soon as I was able to get that divorce check, you know, I'm all about you, baby.
all right, makes sense. Next income earner, I guess, right?
All right.
Is that who you make your money?
Yeah. Okay, so we've got Team NP versus Complexity. Kevin, I don't know how much you've been watching so far of Team NP, but they seem okay, but not amazing so far.
Yeah, I haven't watched too many of the NA teams at least. I watched a bunch of the MDL VODs. I've been watching them the last the week or so. But so I feel a little into the meta, but team-wise, I'm a little confused, especially that Veno ban. I do know coL was doing some jungle Veno stuff in the last patch on the last team. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're still doing something like that. But yeah, excited to see how the teams do. Minimum interested to see how the meta is different in this region compared to others.
Yeah, I think watching NP so far, it's like some of the things that have kind of occurred to me is like the matchup versus Vega, for example, that just happened at Dream League. I thought they moved around pretty well as a 5-man. That seems pretty important in this meta, not trying to overdo efficiency and potentially getting caught out, like moving a lot of 5-man, being prepared for that kind of team fight. But that game too was just, they just got torn apart. I think it was like Eternal Envy Storm Spirit. Ooh, I don't think I've ever seen a Storm Spirit that was poorer than him at 25 minutes.
Okay, yeah, I saw Envy on Reddit when he was playing Storm where he died to tower because he like popped Soul Ring or something.
Yeah.
I really like the Nyx Assassin pick here. It's so good against Batrider. I don't remember what team was. I think it was actually EG versus OG, I believe, at MDL. Like, you just blink into the Firefly when he lassos somebody, you press Spike Carapace, and then you stun him. And as long as you hit that window of having a Blink Dagger before Bat gets like Force or BKB, then you can completely shut down any Batrider offensive potential. So I like the Nyx reaction here. I think it's really good.
Yeah, it's always nice, right? Being able to play Nyx Assassin against some sort of hero that gives AoE, so that you don't have to
control his damage, right?
Yeah, that can't control his damage, so you get that free stun. Because otherwise, you're just like psyching yourself out trying to hit that impale without some sort of setup stun. It's it's always awful feeling, right, when you miss that that impale. But it's
Just
one of the
makes it
hardest
so
things in
easy.
the game to land. Yeah. So
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you blink anywhere close to where Firefly was, and you can turn on your Spike Carapace delay. You can turn on too early. It's so straightforward. Yeah, you have to hit that window, and you have to be set up for it, otherwise it won't be very effective. But so Nyx has been quite good lately. I think Kunkka's getting in a better place as well. The Ioc is a little interesting. They'll maybe try to outmaneuver their opponents, like you said earlier. Teams trying to be more efficient with their map movements. Io definitely helps that out, and the Io Nyx Assassin combo is also really good. Scout with Nyx Assassin for those kills, and then relocate in damage dealer to guarantee kills. So pretty hard for Complexity to at least farm spread out on the map if they do get behind early game.
I think the one of the things that's a little bit surprising to me about the Nyx Assassin, it's a good point that it matches really well with the Wisp, but so far we've seen Nyx Assassin, he's been rising popularity, but it's oftentimes been picked up against some of the intelligence heroes that were actually banned away by Complexity. The OD, very popular one right now, like everyone's picking OD if they can actually get their hands on it, and then we've seen a decent amount of Storm Spirit as well. So it feels like Nyx Assassin has just been kind of like rising in popularity, and then we've gotten to this point where it's like, oh, Nyx Assassin is actually better than just I think it's the oven. It's better than just going up against the OD, right? There's so many other heroes that it's popular against.
It's actually really nice in that way that he's not just good because of his second skill. He can actually use. It's about setting tempo. It's about ganking, countering Batrider. Like that pick just looked beautiful to me with Nyx Assassin. Obviously, it can be okay against Kunkka if you can spike Carapace perfectly, but the advantage it gives you is good. The only downside is that he's a bit weak in lane, especially against the heroes like Kunkka and Oracle. Tons of disable, tons of prevention from him getting to the safety of his tower. So that's going to be the hard part. Maybe even giving him a dual lane might be a good idea. But if you do that, then Io himself is going to have to be a solo support in the safe lane, and then he could be pressured by Batrider or whoever else. So I think the reaction that Complexity is doing to this is very good by grabbing Oracle, Kunkka. Their front lane should be so strong now.
Yeah, Oracle's been... Man, it feels like that hero was picked up 1-2 so often, and then it seems like it's dropping a little bit down in priority, but it's so good versus so many of the heroes. In fact, I would think Team NP, if they didn't have the Wisp, I've seen so many Oracles being the great counter to the Kunkka, because his damage is so obvious, right? It comes in, it's big amount of magic burst damage. Oracle just feels like such a strong defensive hero right now, but we'll see what they're going to be doing with the duo of Wisp plus whatever carry they plan on running right now. We don't really have anything real set from Complexity just yet, and seems like NP are going to kind of follow that lead, right? One offlaner, two supports, still the big 1 and 2 positions of both team a mystery, and Complexity is going to have to go first here.
How do you feel about the Sky? At first I really liked it because hypothetically, like Io Tether, Skywrath Arcanes, you have free mana basically, but they've got Oracle, they've got the hero that can stop the Magic Burst combo.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where this Skywrath Mage is supposed to come in. There's always the possibility, I guess, of it being a mid Skywrath Mage, but we don't know what it's matched up against. So that seems a little nonsensical, right? Usually if Skywrath Mage was picked up, say the Weehaw Skywrath Mage, you know what you're matched up against beforehand. So that way you're able to actually get this really nice matchup, you put pressure, etc. But here it's just like, okay, Skywrath Mage. So it seems like it's going to be a support, right? But then you have a support duo that doesn't have a hard stun, which is another thing that popped out to me that is a little bit questionable.
Yeah, I mean, if you initiate on the Oracle as a Skywrath Mage, it could be useful, but if you go on anybody else, they've got you covered pretty much. Yeah. So I guess it comes down to initiations a lot for NP. I do see some value in them. They could maybe do dual offlane Io Nyx. Doesn't sound amazing, but it could work. And then Skywrath is one of the better zoning supports, obviously, so he could possibly deal with Batrider by himself. But other than that, it's a little iffy. I assume it's going to be AUI playing it. It was definitely one of his most played heroes when he was still on an active roster, leading up to TI6. So could see him. PA is really good against NP's heroes, though.
Yeah, they just dumpster Skywrath Mage and Wisp so quickly, right? Low armor heroes, pretty squishy. PA is going to have such a fun time with that.
And Nyx too. Like, if the sport's ever going Nyx, he's just dead. Unless he TPs. So it's like his only solution. Because PA is going to get in range of the dagger, and then she's going to blink straight. that is one of the nastiest tri lanes I've ever seen against an offlane. I would not want to play this game unless that was maybe like Tide Hunter. It's maybe the only offlane I'd like against that.
All right, well, we're going to see NP pick up the Sven, very popular hero right now. I feel like I've seen it more on Radiant side. Just something that I seem to notice is like the teams on Radiant side picking up the Sven, always playing around their Ancients and around their mid tower. But here, going to be Dire side, have an opportunity maybe for Roshan. Sometime early, we'll see. But Complexity's lineup definitely feels faster paced, right? With the PA,
Yeah.
she doesn't really need that much farm before she comes online. The rest of the heroes very active gankers for the most part. I'm not
I would
sure.
agree.
And
The only way
the space.
The only way that I'd counter you with that argument, though, is that Io really helps Sven become an earlier game hero, because he offsets he doesn't need mobility as much by having Io tether, and the fact that you can relocate in the back of fights. So it doesn't matter where he's farming, he's always ready to fight as long as Io's in the area. So I think that pairing, it's something that MVP Phoenix did a little bit against us towards the end of Korea, and they started doing a little at TI5 as well. Io Sven is quite good. I don't know if they'll go the same build. At some point they're going to need like an MKB, so I'm a little iffy. But at least with Warcry and possibly a Vlad's later, the PA won't do that much damage to everybody.
Mirana, last pick for NP, feels just kind of one of the normal mids, pretty open, is going to be able to match up against whatever Complexity choose to do here. I would say mids that are left out there for Complexity, if they wanted to be able to take back the farming pace of this game, they could go ahead and pick up like Alchemist mid, but I'm not sure how well that really matches up against NP. NP could put a lot of pressure on an Alchemist if they wanted to, but it feels like some sort of other carry mid, right? I don't really like solo carry PA so much.
I think it can work if you fight a lot and get kills. With the Deso build, like the Deso Vlad's build is really good with that. What about like an Invoker mid or something like that? Because they have really good strike setups consistently.
And it's... Ooh.
They'll go more minus armor. That's not bad at all. Yeah, I like that.
I like your two-shot suggestion though. It's like such a good, especially the Quas Wex is so good at being able to kite around the Sven. The AoE is quite nice versus any Wisp duos, but the TA still kind of semi-carry physical damage hero. We definitely look for something that would scale as a mid laner, right?
Yeah, it looks so much like the PA pick to me. It's like I just look at TA and then I look at Sky and Io and I'm like, they're dead. That's a two-shot every time, you know? Although he does have to get to the point where he's going to probably need a BK this game, I feel. Because Sky ulti will just eat through his... I don't know if Sky ulti goes through refraction. Does it do enough damage to break refraction charges? I'm not sure. I feel like it does.
I think the instances of damage come every, like, 0.2 seconds or something like that. So I think it'll eat through.
And the threshold's big enough, it'll just cut through. Yeah, I guess if it doesn't, it'll just do damage through it, which either way is good. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm really worried about Sky Io. I could see like coL just getting a little ahead and just absolutely stomping in ganks and fights.
Yeah, this is definitely a momentum kind of lineup, right? Both the TA as well as the PA are kind of momentum carries in some ways. As in they can go really big if they get a good start within the first 15 minutes, and they've got these excellent ganking heroes on the side of Complexity to really set that up. Looks like the first kind of rotations coming out, Z-Freak teeping out very early to his lane, gets a nice, good defensive ward up, and also manages to spot NP as they try and lay down some aggressive vision. So hopefully they will be able to deal with that. Melons has already got the counter wards up.
I like how they're playing this, though. They're putting SVG there because he's trying to defend it, but the rest of the team's ready to wrap around and catch. They do go for the D ward. So very smart play from both teams. They're both expecting.
Meanwhile, Moo is going to be playing our off-lane Bat Rider. He heads up the lane for free right now, looking to position himself to take that top room because they do indeed see that MP are going to try and push Complexity out of this bottom lane and try and go for the kill, but are not able to quite get it. But they should be able to set up for the bottom room nonetheless.
You hungry?
I am very hungry, actually. You know what's baking? A cake. Oh, melons!
Oh, dude, I'm jelly.
They still managed to catch him. Oh, dear. Man, they baited up that observer ward so hard.
That was the best later dewarded observer I've ever seen. They waited a long time. I guess not, though. The rune hasn't even spawned yet, so they didn't even lose that much doing this.
Yeah, they really didn't. And NP are going to run Sven, Wisp, and Skywrath Mage bottom. I was wondering if they were going to do something like this. And then the next assassin is going to be matched up against Moo's Bat Rider at the top lane. I feel like the Wisp Sven And Skywrath Mage can actually put a lot of pressure on PA. And as you said, like that tri-lane, right? Super dangerous for a Nyx Assassin solo. And Nyx Assassin is kind of one of those heroes that needs a good start. Otherwise, he can feel really lackluster.
I think the thing that I really overlooked when I was looking at the draft is that it takes a bit for Kunkka and Oracle to be dangerous. They have to be like level 2, level 3. It's great against a solo hero, but at level 1 right now, NP is stronger.
Which is why you're going to see Complexity. A lot of pressure put on them right now. Kunkka not even trying to be there in that bottom lane, knows that it's kind of a lost cause, so he's just trying to put pressure on the solo heroes. Showed himself at mid against Eternal Envy, and now is up at top lane trying to catch this Nyx Assassin.
And if he can get a good X off, for example, while he's building up stacks, Nyx is going to feel safe, but he will actually get killed. He's got to be really careful up there.
Our mid lane matchup should be pretty even, right? Like Templar Assassin should be able to get a lot of CS over Mirana. That's kind of one of the downsides, right? Mirana doesn't have the greatest damage to start.
She does have the range advantage at least, and she can play around arrows and things. It looks like it's going fairly well. There, they killed him.
Yeah, already got that Nyx Assassin kill. Looks like Z-Freak was able to wrap around at the right time. And Melons is going to be gone on the bottom lane, but only by AUI. SVG a little bit late to the party will finally start coming in. They managed to get a nice purge onto 2 there, actually clips SVG at the same time, and we've got Theben all the way behind trying to commit for this kill, but isn't going to be get it, and now should be caught. Tether out, and Torrent is going to be able to catch him on the end, but I'm not sure if PA is really going to be able to close this gap. Doesn't even have the Phantom Strike, and they're going to turn on Melons again. Melons, he doesn't have anything to be able to save himself, so he just drops, and NP will take an advantage in this tri-lane, pushing even further into the PA and forcing out some regen out of her.
Maybe PA should have had Blink Strike there. I feel like the evasion kind of really hurt her in that location. I mean, she's got Poor Man's Shield already, so the physical damage she takes is low. But if she had Blink Strike, she could have committed to the PA there, or to the IO, and maybe killed him. All he had was a level 1 dagger. That's really not very contributory towards the kill.
SVG just committing suicide via Roshan. That way he can get back to this bottom lane as quick as possible, because right now they do need the extra help. As you can see,
full mana as well. Courier died? Ooh, Envy getting a courier kill mid.
Yeah, it looks like he managed to leap forward, gets the kill, and doesn't take too much damage in return because his own courier survives and picks up the, brings the bottle to him. So he's actually full up, back to full HP. Looks like Z-Freak's going to try and wrap around, get a torrent here, but maybe they were just hoping to be able to get make it go on Mirana while that leap is on cooldown. But anytime the leap is off cooldown, that duo is just never going to output enough damage to get a kill.
Yeah, absolutely worth it for him to stand there, because standing in the safe lane wasn't going to do anything. You should always be there just in case. More mana here on SVG, but PA is going to continue lowering his HP. Doesn't have that much regen. And they can clear these stacks so easy too, with just 1 point in Great Sleep. Got a Battle Fury already.
Oh. I like how AUI kind of serves as a buffer against the rest of this team, especially with Warcry. In fact, they're going to try and go on PA here, and they might actually have enough magic damage to be able to do this. PA still does not have a way to be able to jump out of this one. It looks like the last magic nuke is not going to be enough. And now maybe NP overextended themselves a little bit. AUI is going to take a lot of damage, but everyone has so many magic stick charges between the PA on one side and the Skywrath Mage on the other. The spam is offering a lot of recovery for the 2 different cores here.
It makes Sven so good. Normally he's just so limited in these tri-lane versus tri-lane setups because he has no mana, but having an IO and a magic stick on top of that, he can throw stuns all the time.
Our NP duo trying to poke at the middle lane, see if they can actually catch the Templar Assassin out of position. Not going to be able to, though. Shows the strength of the Sven being able to stand in lane without too much to fear. They're going to try and charge past the tower, put some pressure on these supports while the PA is gone. How's our top lane going? Nyx Assassin, ever since he died, looks like he's doing all right in CS, considering the matchup, 21-4 compared to 18-2, and he's died once, so that's not too bad.
I'm surprised he's skipping the Quelling Blade a little, but I guess it's a Bat Rider, so you won't deny that much. Looking to see if they can get a kill. Oh, good stun.
They're actually going to be able to get him. Move. Oh, last bit of spear damage is going to be enough. NP. Nice rotation there.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Perfect timing there is going to be able to get the Nyx Assassin a little bit ahead of the Bat Rider, speeds up that level 6. He's already got enough for Arcane Boots, so they can actually move that Sven back up to his safe lane pretty soon, and now just start moving around with the Nyx Assassin if they want.
It looks like if they could just do a little bit of stacking as well in Ancients while they're down here, it would really help out the Sven transition. The NPs, they're just rotating so efficiently. That's basically what we talked about on the laning stage as well. Just occasionally throwing a support somewhere, getting a successful kill. In the meantime, the tri lane for Complexity didn't feel comfortable even trying for the Sven, even though he was solo for like a minute there. They're just getting everything they want.
Here comes that first rotation from the Nyx Assassin. Picks up the TP scroll as soon as he picks up level 6 and immediately rotates to bottom just to see if he can catch Complexity just via speed alone. The stun will come out. Nyx Assassin will be able to combo that one up, and it looks like SVG with a little bit of extra nuke damage, they might be able to get this kill. Arrow, oh, it nails him, and they will be able to get it thanks to Eternal Envy making the rotation over. Melons is going to be up next, no surprise. Swindles is also going to go down, and NP will take full control of this tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, Moo, seeing how many heroes are at the bottom lane, tries to get aggressive at top, but Whis is able to stay one step ahead and is picking up some free solo experience.
And at least cancel compression of the tower a little, but with these illusion runes that Envy had, he just pulled the creeps past. They're not getting anything out of this like they wanted to.
Oh man, cancel even just tanking up the tower, desperate to get whatever damage he can, as you said, but it's really not going to be able to do too much thanks to Eternal Envy's illusion play. NP, this is kind of what we've seen from them before, right? Is that they seem to put a lot of pressure on the laning phase, moving around with their supports quite a bit, and almost always seem to get that kill advantage. But what has cost them in the past is their transition into mid-game. But we'll see if they do manage to get caught here. Z-Freak, X marks the spot onto Rose. You do have the Nyx Assassin making his way in. They should know about it now. Z-Freak pops the dust, but is still going to be caught by the combination. Pushed back. Great flame break there from Moo. Might just be able to give Z-Freak the distance, but never mind. The Spirit's higher level will be able to finish him off.
I mean, the only thing NP is losing right now is mid-tower HP, and that tower's a little rough. They would like to control mid and the enemy safe lane, but they will lose mid. So everything they accomplished here slightly cut back a bit, but they're winning all of their 3 lanes, in my opinion, at this point.
Net worth definitely seems to reflect that. 4,000 gold lead already for NP, about 1,500 experience. Everything's looking pretty good for Eternal Envy and the boys. They're even stacking up the Ancients for the Sven to make use of a little bit later on. Same thing will happen with the TA, though. Looks like Rose, he's going to be caught out. Tries to go for the 8-minute rune, gets caught by Complexity, a full sandwich of 3 heroes onto that top rune spot.
Could use backup, maybe like rotate somebody over so at least he has a tether target and he wouldn't have died there. So possible, I mean, SVG could have been there, for example, rather than sitting mid. Just slight miscommunication. But every kill is going to matter a lot when you're this far behind. That was an IO, and he gave 252 gold to the guy that got the kill, and there was other heroes in the area. They have to minimize that.
Whis powering up the Sven so he can clear through Ancients nice and early. He's got the Helm of Dominator, so they don't even need Eternal Envy to come in and stack that up for them anymore.
The strat's just so good.
Yeah.
Normally they'd be super far behind in terms of levels as a dive top.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get the relocate with the Nyx Assassin setting up the kill. Moo goes down, a very important kill too, as keeping the Bat Rider down is going to stop a lot of the initiation for Complexity going into the mid game. So they're slowing down the drums and the inevitable Blink Dagger transition.
Being so efficient right now, it's actually insane. They just finished killing Ancients, then they get a kill, then they pressure the tower. They're forcing Complexity to move around the map. So good.
The X is going to be able to set up double TPs here. They might be able to punish AUI. They don't have a relocate to get out of this one, but AUI just says, okay, fine, I'll just TP my way out of there. Didn't have a stun left, and NP are forcing all kinds of false maneuvers out of Complexity and getting way ahead in the efficiency game.
It's 9:30 right now. The eye was already level 6, despite mostly standing around trying to contribute to kills, not really like farming anything or pulling. They're just getting so much, and then they got to clear the Ancients earlier than normal just because of having an eye. All their pieces are fitting together so well.
They're going to need to make some drastic maneuvers on Complexity if they want to be able to come back into this game. 5-manning into the Tier 1 tower isn't the greatest, as NP continue to keep spread out, maintaining more of a gold and definitely experience lead off of these these kind of efficient plays are going to take over the Radiant jungle, it looks like. Nyx Assassin is only going to show up at top lane every once in a while, try and set up a potential relocate gank. Doesn't look like he'll find the PA, though, with the counter wards already set up. Oh, okay, never mind. Actually, that's a dire... Oh, no. PA needs to be able to make a jump out of here somewhere, but there is no jump to be had. I didn't realize... I thought for a second those were Radiant counter wards. I don't know why, but...
Yeah,
just... There's nothing Complexity can really do, it seems like. They can't really spread out. Nyx Assassin's just going to pick them apart.
It's actually quite bad in the tri-lane setups, really. Like, she has to get a couple of levels in her. It's basically the story of all 3 of their tri-lane heroes that I underestimated. All 3 of them need like level 3 to be decent at the tri-lane, but those that first level, that second level, they're quite weak compared to a Sven stun. That 2 heroes potentially, like even Oracle's very weak at level 1 in comparison with that base damage nerf.
Yeah.
They actually just did so much with that aggressive tri-lane in this game. As soon as they killed Moo that second time, everything changed in this game for them.
Yeah, Moo's taking some time to try and finish up that Blink Dagger. He'll have it now. Just a little bit of tick gold, and maybe they can finally get aggressive and play off of some smokes. But NP, it kind of depends on who Complexity run into, right? They don't really have the greatest aggressive wards. They've got this 1 ward in mid, and that's pretty much it right now. So they're going to be kind of flying blind if they do just go for a smoke gang. And it depends if they run into, say, Mirana. Well, that's not going to be the greatest, because then you're just going to have a Sven Wisp relocate into that, most likely, and we could actually see a full team fight play out rather than just a smoke gank.
Yeah, it's really tough right now. I think the only thing they can do is try to counter gank wherever the Nyx Assassin is, really. And that's a game of prediction, man. If they can't get those kills, they're in a bad spot, because they've been consistently, like you said, dewarding their wards. They don't have vision on the enemy side of the map.
Snatching away the Invis rune away from Cancel, who's going to be able to fill up his bottle. NP continue to play around their Ancients as much as possible. We're going to see the 5-man come through from Complexity. They aren't going to go for the smoke. It's all up to the Batrider to get the right kind of initiation here. They're already playing back. They will be able to get the Wisp, pulling him back into what should be a kill. He tethers, gets a little bit of distance, doesn't actually get hit by the Torrent, and now Moon's going to be in trouble. He's turned around very quickly, and he's going to get caught by the Skywrath Mage. Melons, he falls as well, and Rose somehow is still alive through all of this. Total disaster for Complexity. They try and fight their way out of this one, but it looks like heroes are just going to be caught. PA going back into this one, but it just means he's going to die as well, as all of NP are too tanky for a PA to be able to pick anybody off. 4 down from Complexity, and NP surge forward in this lead now.
Oh man, the only way they could have done that better, I think, is if Kunkka was 6 and was able to land a ghost ship at the end of the lasso, because they just didn't have the range and the damage to kill Io before the lasso ended there. It was good movement. The trap did spot that they were doing Ancients, but they just it was predicted. NP started retreating right away.
I think a lot of this, right? It's just, in some ways, it's very easy to read for NP. They know the Batrider timing's going to be coming up soon. They know that it's going to be a smoke gank that's going to happen with that first Blink Dagger pickup, and they just played really defensive. And, you know, going into that area, the secret shop, right? It's just a rough area to go through as Radiant side. You're just naturally going to cluster.
They also cut over. They placed the ward here. Oracle was here. Batrider went this way, and the rest of the team has to walk this huge circle to come all the way around. So the amount of time that it took for them to initiate actually just increased, and that's why they didn't kill the Io in time. And then everything just gets really hard.
Yeah, the fact that they weren't able to get the torrent timing was just really screws up that whole entire initiation, right? They're able to get the tether out instead of getting hit by the nuke.
Yep,
now NP 2 and 12, 7,500 gold lead, a little bit over a 5,000 experience lead for them, right? Complexity, the first debut of this lineup, not having the greatest start.
Yeah, it's looking a little iffy, but really it was a lot of the drafting issues. Just that tri-lane versus tri-lane set things up, and NP's couple small rotations just gave all the advantage to the heroes that had any disadvantage.
Straight Aghanim's for our Nyx Assassin. No Blink Dagger, no Hand of Midas. I mean, Oh, hold up. Eternal Levy is going to be gone on here. X marks the spot. Torrent and a boat, but that's one gank quickly turns against Complexity as sure enough the relocate comes in, and now it's going to be our Phantom Assassin in some serious trouble. Hides into the trees, will TP out. Melons is going to be caught instead. Cancel still wants to fight this one out. The PA actually cancels the TP to stick around. AUI is going to be a target here, but he's tanky as all hell and even has the Magic Stick charges and Rose to be able to come in. AUI still not dying yet. Man's up against the Bat Rider, takes the one. Arrow lands on Cancel, won't be able to close the distance. Looks like AUI, no, not even the Torrents is enough. And Cancel is left just waiting for the inevitable death. He's sitting here with the Invis. Eventually some AoE is going to come in from NP. Rose takes away with him the Spirit. Will go for the TP out. The stun is going to be there, though, and that will be 3 down. What started as a simple gank on a Mirana, these heroes from NP just proved to be too farmed, too tanky, survived through the initiation, and are always able to make the turn with the Wisp.
And the Sven is just so much stronger than normal. Normally you'd have a Blink Dagger at this point, and instead he's got Echo Saber, so he's ready to fight from the start, and the IO can help him despite all of the kite potential that coL has. So he stays alive just barely, and NP gets another 5-man wipe. You've got to win something soon, otherwise the game just ends. They're already so far behind.
Looks like Nyx Assassin going to set up another potential relocate if they want to. But it may not be necessary. As long as he hits this Impale, Melons actually comes out, will be able to get the ult down, but now here comes AUI, he's got the Blink Dagger, and there's simply no way that Swindles can undo that damage.
Their heroes have basically gotten through that hard part of the game where any of them are worried about dying. I mean, IO's relatively strong, and even the Scarth Mage has a buckler, so any easy kills that they would have had with minus armor is gone now. Game is tough, and there's a gem now on SVG, so any hope for observer wards or vision advantage is gone. And NP obviously has Roche control, so this is just absolutely awful for coL.
NP seem to be able to read very clearly how to hold on and build this advantage. Like the early gem pickup, I think is a great example of just, you know, making sure that you have full control of this game. There's no chance of Complexity doing something sneaky. Pretty much the only way they can operate now is off of smokes and blind smokes at that, because all their aggressive vision and even most of their defensive vision is going to be gone thanks to that gem pickup.
Yeah, and even if they do that, they could be walking into a 5-man pot of multi, so they might react slowly, only catch a couple heroes in the for example. It's so difficult. Here comes a Z pre-kill. Oh.
Arrow to start things off, and with the Aghanims, Eternal Envy just burst the poor pirate down. Bottom lane, NP is going to try and make a go of it. They're going to relocate in behind Cancel, try and set up. He does manage to get off the refraction before the silence, but looks like he's still done for. Trapped inside the trees, nowhere to run to, and will eventually die as another 2 go down. NP will turn this straight into Roshan. They even have a gigantic Ancient stack to fall back on as well. NP continue to climb and climb and climb, and net worth and Complexity are doing nothing but stagnating.
Yep, it's just about over here. If they, especially with Aegis going to NP now, any hopes of them winning the next team fight are even harder. Especially if they put it on like Mirana or somebody like that. He could just jump into the fight, do whatever he wants, do tons of damage, and then respawn and do it again. I don't even know if AOI needs it on Sven. He's almost got AC as well, only about 2,000, 3,000 away.
So the laning phase, very clearly a big win for NP, that the way they set up that aggro tri-lane against Complexity, weak level 1 heroes, we talked about all that, but if we go back to the draft, how could have Complexity change this in that last pick? Do you think that there was another hero besides Templar Assassin that could have changed the way this game really went? Or is it just the aggro tri-lane and the solo setups by NP were too strong no matter what?
I mean, yeah, that's a really good point. If they didn't have TA, if it was something that was more active early, I'm not really sure what it would have been. Even something like a Quap that could have potentially gotten some fast levels, TP to the safe lane, and participated in an early engagement, could have completely changed everything. Because as soon as you do an aggro try and you die like 1 or 2 times without getting a kill, you just leave the lane, and then everything gets normal again. And that's really what Complexity needed, I think. They needed to be forced. They needed to force their opponents into going safe, slow acceleration that happens with Sven, but instead they got to accelerate at a normal speed while also denying a lot of farm from there.
NP getting some more aggressive the positioning down, we'll be able to get a nice award between the tier 1 and tier 2 at top lane, which looks like they're planning on pushing this lane as the Sven's going to be leading the charge, and it's going to be the Wisp sitting behind the Mirana now, ready to relocate at a moment's notice. But Complexity, I'm sure they're reading kind of the temperature of this game. They know that all the team fights have gone real bad for them lately, and I'm not sure if they can actually fight until like a full 5-on-5 until PA has BKB. Because otherwise she's just jumping into massive nuke damage thanks to that Ags on Mirana.
But that's not even going to solve the problem either, because she's only got a Vlad's right now. She actually has no damage. They are going to spot Envy. This could be huge.
Envy needs to be able to get the leap out, but is hit by the X, brought back to the turret. Won't be able to get the relocate out save, and there goes the Aegis just like that. NP, though, they still could try and fight this one. Rose is going to try and tether up, but cancel. Reads that one, immediately pushes the Wisp back, and the rest of the team focuses on Eternal Envy. AUI says, well, screw it. I'm just going to keep on pushing. He's got his God strength if necessary, but he takes down that tier 2, puts a little pressure on the tier 3, but very clearly Complexity come up big with that pickoff on the Mirana.
Yeah, it couldn't have been a better hero. They wasted relocate, they killed the Aegis, and they killed a super farmed hero on NP. I'm sure they got a massive gold swing for that one kill. It doesn't really look like it if you look at the graph, but I know it mattered. And they got levels, and they get to farm their jungle for once.
They do all the little Fallout things, right? They don't have to worry about relocate. Unfortunately, Melons is going to get caught. Maybe the Impale doesn't actually land, and our Nyx assassin is going to burrow underground, not having to worry too much about the damage coming in for the Kunkka. AEY looking to be able to blink forward, will catch Melons. They make short work of him. Z-Freak will be able to TP out. Still, though, they lost Melons. Oracle's really underfarmed. They've created space for Cancel to be able to push mid and for Mood to be able to do something top. That doesn't feel like the end of the world. Not the same kind of pickoff that would turn things around like that Mirana was.
Yeah, it really isn't. I asked you before, but we got cut off by a fight. Well, how do you feel about the fast eggs on Nyx?
Oh, yeah. It was, I don't know. I always thought that... I guess if you're doing well, maybe Handamitis isn't necessary, but I always felt like it was just a nice item to make sure you got Blink and Ags, and then if you went later on, certain other items like Dagon or Octarine are really nice to have. But there is a lot of teamfight presence with this Ags. It just says a lot of confidence, I guess, about being able to get the right kind of setup, right? Because the Ags is fairly useless if you are the ones actually initiated on. Cancel's going to be jumped on at the top lane. Speaking of initiation, he gets popped so quickly.
One thing I really like about this Nyx Ags, especially based on how the game is going, is that their opponents are really behind. They don't have very much damage. If he just gets Ags, he just can't die. And it's almost like a Glimmer Cape for himself too. If he gets X marks, he just gets on the ground and he eats the damage and he doesn't care. He's like, oh, cool. I'll just take like 40% of that or 60% of that total. It's so strong.
He actually becomes something you may not actually want to bring back with X marks his spot, just due to the AoE advantages of things like Spike Carapace and that long range he's got.
Well, it guarantees he's not going to die unless he gets chain disabled. Maybe the only way.
So NP will just continue to bully Complexity back as much as possible, take the rest of these outer towers, so a 5-man down mid only makes sense for NP. And it all comes down to a brilliant high ground defense, it seems like, for Complexity. I don't know if NP are going to go straight high ground right now, or if they're going to wait for the next Aegis, if they really want to make it safe. Because they absolutely could do that, right? They're in no fear of Complexity somehow scaling better into the late game. At least not anytime soon, that's for sure. If ever.
Yeah, and they always will have the Batrider advantage as well, so there's always the dangerous thing going high ground. But with Io in the game, I think they'll be mostly safe. But all they have to do is land one good arrow on any hero that's semi-relevant, and they can definitely just be aggressive, jump high ground. I'm pretty sure it would take at least 3 heroes alone to kill Sven by himself.
Yeah.
Especially with fast AC and BKB like this.
He's a big boy.
He's like Alchemist farm levels compared to everybody else this game. It's actually insane how much net worth he has.
He is. He's got 17,000 net worth compared to the Templar Assassin who's sitting at 9k. That is a disgustingly large net worth advantage to have over the enemy carry. It gets even worse if you look at the PA's net worth, who's only sitting at 7k. Right now, Complexity are 5-man smoked up, looking for a pick-off somewhere. NP, they seem to have it red once again. Mid lane and top lane are both pushing in. No one's showing up from Complexity, so NP play around the same area that Complexity had to smoke into last time, which is this high ground of the secret shop.
What does this PA even do? Like, look at him hitting Ancients here. Like, he's got a Vlad's. But his opponents have an AC that offsets his Vlad's and actually makes it worse because it's -5 armor instead of +4. Like, I don't even know what does he even buy? His ally's got a Deso as well. Like, does he go a different build? I have no clue what he buys to become relevant. He's so far behind that his Vlad's rush is not going to cut it.
I'm not sure either. Maybe you go the BKB and just target every single time the same target that Cancel's going for, and just play off of that Deso orb. But oh, Nyx Assassin looks for the long range initiation, misses the impale. Melons will still be caught by AY maybe? No, doesn't want to go for it. Blinks up and takes on the creep wave instead.
Yeah, they don't have to do anything dangerous at all. They're so far ahead. Just take the easy kills, poke and prod. If you do land one of those disables next time, then you've got a kill and you can start pushing. I do like that Cancel finished the push top, so now NP does have to go back and play split push, but I don't think it's going to matter that much. They're still so farmed.
Yeah, if anything, right, they can still keep 3 heroes mid or bottom and send Wisp +1 up to the top lane, so they can very easily deal with the split pushing. Anything that Complexity do manage to cobble together, right, it's always a risk going for that split push. Even if they do it, it's not like NP is going to be drastically out of position because of it.
This is definitely true. Ooh, they could almost get moved. He blinked just in time. That was very close to being a death. That could have been the high ground. He didn't even have buyback there. Just in time that he blinked.
Roshan is coming up too, so Complexity cannot afford to lose anybody here. They pretty much have to go for sort of a almost like blind smoke into Roshan, see if they can catch NP in the middle of doing Rosh, and they have no idea about any vision. They have no idea what exactly the Rosh timing is going to be, so it's going to be all kind of a luck game, I think, for Complexity to get a semi-decent initiation out of this. They may not even have the opportunity. NP looks to strike first with this Moonlight Shadow. Jump forward, will be able to catch one. Melons already forced to use his ult on himself. The rest of Complexity quick on the retreat, and Melons, is he actually going to die? Nope, not even close.
I guess the Phase Edict blocked a lot of Starfall damage is why.
Yeah. Well, Cancel. Going for the split push top.
Nyx is not very mobile at least, so they could grab him potentially, but it's so hard. Every time they put sentries down to protect against this stuff, if NP just doesn't get a kill, it's not a big deal because then they clear all the sentries with the gem. And again, Complexity loses more and more gold advantage.
Seems like they have to get a gem of their own at this point and just try and luck out on getting the Nyx Assassin bottom lane. Z-Freak is going to be caught here. He already used the bolt though, so he's going to have that buff on him and will be able to survive the initial burst of AY. AY is going to be pulled back into the tier 3 while they try and deal with Rose. Rose is going to die, and there's no relocate out now, but AUI, he may be stuck underneath the tier 3 tower, but he can actually fight this one out. Cancel, Refraction, saving him a lot. Not going to save the PA though. PA caught in the impale, will end up going down. Buybacks coming out. Complexity still going to try and fight this one out, see if they could get a catch, but it's just not enough. And P, again, just like before, proved to be way too tanky, even when Complexity get what it looks like a semi-reasonable opportunity for them to take a fight. NP just proved to be too farmed.
Yeah, if they wouldn't have lost the PA in that fight, it would have been fine, but losing both and the Conco buyback just costs way too much. PA does pick up a Claymore. I don't know if there's going to be a Battlefield or a Shadow Blade. I don't think either one's going to be useful, though.
Yeah.
She's just so far behind. I honestly don't know what she buys. Maybe a Deso of her own. Like, that might be the best. Oh, big stun on Cancel.
Nice pickup, and Cancel goes down just like that. Comboed, unable to get a refraction off. And NP, they can take Roshan at their leisure now with 50 seconds on the clock for a Templar Assassin.
And now pretty much anything that they buy on either the TA or the PA gets countered, because when the E-Blade comes out for Priest of the Moon, anybody that they choose to kill can be protected, or they can just burst through PA, for example. Evasion means nothing if you have enough magic nukes, which is why that bottom pick was so good.
Lenby, he knows. He knows this Z-Freak's around here somewhere. He's going to throw a blind arrow. I was just hoping he would get the arrow, but it doesn't work. Z-Freak will be able to get out.
He does that a lot, actually. I remember him doing that all the time at TI as well. And Manila Major, especially.
Who, Z-Freak or Eternal Envy?
Z-Freak, he's a tree hugger, dude. He's the one that always like arrows people in trees too, that are like randomly there. He speaks to trees or something.
Oh, Mood tries to get out of this one with a Force Staff through. The Nyx Assassin doesn't make it though. Relocate is another successful pickoff, and now they'll do Roshan. Again, another hero, another core down for 50 seconds. As you said, just take the easy kills that are available to you and turn that into objectives.
And probably Envy will grab this again, maybe. If he feels like walking over is basically their discussion at this point. No, I'd rather farm. That's cool. You can have it. I don't care that much. We're gonna...
Sven is gigantic. The Wisp actually has Vanguard. What's coming in now?
Crimson, I assume? Probably because they were very physical heavy.
They actually are getting Lincolns on AUI just to make sure that there is no chance of him being out of position due to lasso or X or whatever.
And it gives him mana regen even more with Echo Saber, so he can just throw Stormhammers whenever he wants. Oh, nice actually. And it gives you 30 damage. Item.
Here comes the relocate attempt. Not quite up, 2 more seconds. Nyx Assassin will be able to stop this TP though, with Yules setting up into the Ags, and here comes that relocate. Free kill on Z-Freak. Complexity, no, they're desperate times call for desperate measures, so Cancel is going to do whatever he can. I think he's looking to be able to cut a creep wave somewhere, and in the meantime he'll farm up Dire jungle.
It's basically what everybody's doing on coL. Go to a lane, try to push it out, try not to die. Hopefully you don't get ganked. Envy's gonna try to stop the bat here. Or just kill the wave.
Put a quick stop to that attempt at a split push there from Moo.
It is a battle fairy for PA.
Oh,
the downside is he's gonna have to sell his Iron Talon and buy a new Quelling Blade.
so pretty much PA here. Well, Eternal Envy, no, there's gonna be TPs and an arrow. Nails him. PA done for, unless Melons can somehow save him, but the Old Scepter actually comes in. They manage to get a pick off on top lane with Moo. Melons is going to go down, makes a jump over. PA still gets popped, and now the tier 3 at the top lane in some serious trouble. Cancel's going to try and stop it, almost by himself. Tries to stop that TP in from Eternal Envy, doesn't make it in time, and they go ahead and call it. Just like that, they know it's over. Complexity, I'm sure they know it's been over for a long, long time, but fought almost to the bitter end. 4-32 is our end score, and NP take game number 1 in this best of 3.
Man, they gave that one a real try, but boy was that a thorough whipping. Like there was almost nothing accomplished in that game after 10 minutes, other than split pushing. I mean, they had like 3 good fight attempts, but they never quite nailed the kill.